Hello, it's Miss Greenhouse. I'm going to teach you today how to make a clay lily pad with a flower on it out of a pinch pot and a little pancake, a little piece of flat clay here. The supplies you're going to need are a placemat, your piece of clay, a wooden skewer, and a little bit of water. The first step, I'm going to break my clay into two parts, and I want them to be two equal parts. And you're just going to do as best you can. This doesn't have to be perfectly equal, but you're going to want to tear it apart and have about the same amount in both pieces. We're going to start with the pancake part, the lily pad, at the bottom. So I'm going to put this side of clay away, and I'm going to turn this clay into a ball. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not going to worry about these cracks right now. One thing you need to remember is that you cannot overwork the clay. If you touch it and play with it and flatten it out and wad it up and flatten it out and wad it up, it's going to be really dry. And it's going to be hard to keep it from cracking so much. So touching it as little as possible while still being able to make the clay is important. Okay, I'm going to make my pancake. I'm going to press with my hand. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to press again. I'm going to flip this over. Flipping it over between each press keeps it from getting stuck to your placemat. Yes, I'm getting cracks. I'm not worried about them right now. I'm going to show you what to do to get rid of those. I want to press evenly. I also want to keep this about the thickness of an Oreo cookie. I do not want this side of the pancake to get too thin. Once you're happy with your pancake, you can take just a tiny bit of water on your finger and smooth these cracks out. You do not want to use a lot of water. Adding too much water can ruin your clay, just like it being too dry. So it's really important that you don't add too much water to this. All right, this looks good. I've smoothed out all the cracks. It's not too wet. I'm not worried about the cracks on the bottom because nobody's going to see that side. Okay, now I'm going to decide where the middle of my lily pad is going to be. I'm going to make a mark. And then using the side of my skewer, I'm going to make some marks like the plant has. The plant has these little veins. I'm just going to go around like that. Now a lot of lily pads have a little section kind of cut out of them. So using the pointy side of this, I'm just going to cut out carefully a section. We'll save that for something else that can be recycled and another student can use it. And I'm going to use my finger to tap out these edges here. All right, I'm going to set this to the side and make my flower pinch pot. I'm going to take my other piece of clay, squeeze it into a ball, just like we started with the lily pad, the pancake. I'm not too worried again about the cracks. I can deal with those later. I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to push it into the clay ball like a drill. And I'm going to go all the way down, almost to the bottom of my ball. Then using my thumb and my fingers, I'm going to put my thumb way back down in here. I'm going to pinch and turn, pinch and turn. I'm pinching like this, inside and outside. Pinch and turn. I'm not worried about the cracks. Pinch and turn. I'm just going to keep pinching and turning And that will make the clay bowl a little bit bigger. We want the lip up here to stay nice and thick, so we don't want to pinch just up here. If you pinch just up here, it's going to get too thin and you won't be able to make your petals. We also want the walls of the bowl, which are the sides of the bowl, these are the walls of the bowl, we want those to feel even. So you don't want one side to be thicker than the other. You just kind of work it and keep spinning it. Okay, I'm really happy with this now. This is too round. I want to flatten the bottom of this. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap. It's going to let the bottom flatten out. I might pinch just a little bit on here, not too much. And then I'm going to use my wet finger to smooth out my cracks. Again, not too much water. Okay, I'm ready to make my petals. That looks like a pretty good pinch pot. It's gonna fit right on there. Okay, for my petals, I'm gonna take my skewer again and I'm gonna push little marks in here. So there's like a plus sign, and then I'm gonna go diagonal and diagonal. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different segments. I can come back in here one at a time. I'm going to push them down a little bit more. Okay, it's coming along. It's starting to look a little bit more like a flower. Then I'm going to gently pinch out each one of these sections. Just pinch them outward, turn them out, and it's making my flower. Oh wow, that's going to look really good. Again, if you have any areas that you want to clean up, you're going to do that before you attach it to your lily pad. Go around here, look for any cracks, right? Okie dokes. Next step, I have to attach the flower to the lily pad. So you have to decide where you want that to land, where you want it to live. And then you're going to do a technique called scoring and slipping. This is like clay glue. Score a section by going in lines like this. I'm not going so deep that I'm cutting all the way through the clay. And then I'm going to score in the opposite direction. I have decided that this is where I want my piece to be. So all that will go away. You won't see it because it will be covered up by the flower. I'm going to flip this over and support it with my hands. And I'm going to do the same thing on the back of this one. It's like we're making two pieces of Velcro that are going to stick together. So I'm going to score in all different directions. This is really important. If you don't do this, your two pieces will fall apart in the kiln and you will not have your flower attached to your lily pad. Now the slip part, we're going to take a little water. This is the slip. We're going to put that on that side of the scoring. We're going to put that on this side of the scoring. This is making our glue. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to gently press this down gently. Now it's really attached. So I've got this. We got to let this dry for a few days. Then we will put it in the kiln. After it comes out of the kiln, we will paint it. The last thing you need to do before you're finished is you're going to gently flip this over and you're going to put your initials nice and big. And you're going to put Gosh, that doesn't look like a very good G, does it? And you're going to put your class code. That way we'll know whose is whose when they come out of the kiln. Okay, I can't wait to see what you create. Bye.